Nick Baldwin for SevereMMA here with the TKO bantamweight champion who defends his title against Nathan Manis at TKO 44 on September 21st. It is the big cat himself, Jesse Arnett. Jesse, thanks for doing this. It's good to meet you finally. I know we've done a couple of these over the phone, but better to do them in person. How's everything going? And you're just a couple months out from the fight. How's everything going? From your last fight leading up to this one.
Good to see you, Nick. Good to meet you finally. So much respect for what you guys do. Things are good, man. Coming off another submission win, 12 straight wins this September. Nathan Manis, 9-0, southpaw, 5'10", 72-inch reach. Good fighter. We'll see what he's got. I'm excited for the matchup, and I'm excited to make it 13 straight here at home, Canada, in Quebec City.
We're in Calgary right now, your hometown. UFC on Fox 30 goes down tomorrow at the Saddle Dome. Why in the world are you not on this card, Jesse?
Who knows? It is what it is. I'm super thankful and super blessed to be in the position I'm in. I'm being super patient right now. But yeah, this is awesome. Calgary, it's fight week. There's a big fight feel in the city. We were just out for lunch and we were just talking about that. It's definitely a good card, and they definitely made up for UFC 149 years ago here in Calgary, and I'm super excited for tomorrow night.
You said you're a patient person, and you have to be in your spot. But do you not find it insane that the UFC still has yet to pick you up?
Yeah, like I mentioned, it is what it is. I'm a bantamweight at 135 pounds. I believe I can do well, and I can compete at the highest level, like I have been. That's what I do. I want my shot at 135. We'll see. I put Manis away. I'll be 16-4. It looks good for Toronto coming up, and I'm just gonna stay positive. Good things will happen. I will get there. I'll fight in 1FC. I'll fight in UFC before I'm done. Right now I'm super thankful, and I'm proud to be the TKO bantamweight champ, and I love fighting out east in Quebec and Montreal. Great city, and great fans.
You've talked to the UFC before. It's not like they're ignoring you entirely. They've even offered you a couple fights, at least one. You didn't take them because it was up a weight class and it just didn't make sense, and no one can really blame you for that. But what's the latest as far as the conversation with them, if there has been any, as recently?
Same thing. After my last fight, it was okay. We're going to have to pass for you on Calgary, but stay in shape, this and that. Be ready at, 145 or 135. What am I going to do? I can't beg these guys. I just got to show up September 21st and finish that American and move forward from there.
Did they explain why they couldn't get you on the card? Was it full? Was that the reason? Or
my first round management told me that the card was already booked and they were not having any bantamweights, period, on the card. And that get ready at 145. If there's a fallout, maybe you can hop in at 45. Well, the only 145-pound fight on the whole card is Hakeem Dawodu versus this other American, Arnett, which just happened to be a fluke, same last name as me. Like I said, I'll fight at bantamweight. Bantamweight's my division, and yeah, I'm the baddest 135-pounder walking this planet, and I'm going to keep it that way.
It's funny when you mentioned the fluke. I forget who I was talking to, but someone mentioned you and Austin Arnett, and someone asked me, "Do you know if they're related?" And I wasn't sure. I didn't think so, but not even second cousins, third cousins, fourth.
Well, if he wins tomorrow night, then we are related. But no, I'm more related to Hakeem Dawodu, and that kid's a stud. And I see a big knockout coming from him tomorrow night, and I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to that for Calgary. That's good. He's a good kid.
He lost in his debut. He lost very early on. As a guy who you've had your setbacks, you're on a long winning streak, so it's been a long time. But as a guy who has lost yourself, how do you sort of motivate him and get him ready for this fight? Because I know it must be a downer to go in to a highly anticipated debut and fall short, as a favorite as well.
Yeah, for me, man, I wouldn't be sitting here if I didn't get subbed them times and I didn't start taking the sport serious. So it either makes you or breaks you. We're going to see in the first minute if he's aggressive, how he fights this fight, what kind of emotions he's holding from the last fight. the best thing is just to leave it all at the front door, man. Leave it all at the cage door, go in there, and every day's new, every fight's new, and I'm sure he'll be fine. It's going to be a good fight tomorrow night.
What do you make of this card? I mean, you touched on it briefly, but you're a fight fan. You know who Alvarez is. You know Poirier, Joanna, Jose Aldo, Jeremy Stevens. You know everyone. It's a great card. Is this really like, living up and, I guess, paying back the fans for what happened 6 years ago?
I agree completely. This is an amazing card. Even better, they got it on Fox. It's on free TV. It's an early card. Hopefully the Saddle Dome's packed. It took a few years. They definitely made up for Calgary. The only thing they're missing is the big cat. Remember that. But it is what it is, man. What's next for me is 13, and that's all I'm thinking about.
Will you be at the fights tomorrow?
Yes, I will be at the fights tomorrow. Big shout out to George Lockhart, TJ, my boy Eric, the whole Lockhart and Leith nutrition system. They're on point, and looking forward to hanging out with my boys tomorrow night and watching some good fights here in Calgary, baby.
When did you start working with the Lockhart and Leith team?
The first time I started working with them was last fight. TJ Wellen came up to Quebec City. This guy had me eating all day, 6 meals a day. I was losing weight every time I ate. And I had the most comfortable and the most successful weight cut and rehydration of my whole career. Again, big shout out to George Lockhart and TJ Wellen. Eric upstairs now doing that thing. Much love, boys. Now,
I know for a while TKO, you were basically an exclusive fighter for them. My understanding is that if the UFC calls, you can take the fight. If ONE FC calls, you can take the fight. Bellator calls, you can take the fight. No matter who calls, you don't have to fight for TKO contract-wise. Is that true?
100%. Patrick's a good guy, man. He knows the situation we're in, and who doesn't want the big cat on the card, though? I'm committed to him. In 55 days, 60 days, whatever it is, I will be there in Quebec City. I will throw my hands in the air. I will come forward, and I will be looking for the finish the entire time. I will be most prepared for battle, and that's all I can do at this point. If this is the kid to beat me, I'll shake his hand right in the middle. But Nathan Manis, Joseph Manis, whatever your name is, bro, much love, much respect. You're not the kid to do it, but that doesn't mean you're not a good fighter. And I'll see you September 21st.
A bit earlier, you mentioned one championship. Is that a legitimate interest? If the UFC doesn't call, is that where, do you see yourself fighting overseas one day?
Yes, we've been talking to one. We've been talking to one exclusively. I would love to fight overseas at ONE FC. Before I'm done, the big cat will fight in a big organization. Mark my words. And I'm just super thankful for where I'm at right now and everything I've overcome. I went from 3-4 to 15-4. I'm about to be 16-4 on a 13-fight win streak. I got a whole bunch of finishes. I think 14 if I get a finish here. 14, wow. Half of these prospects that are 8-2, 8-1, 5-0, I got 14 finishes.
Why haven't you fought for one yet? I mean, you said you've been talking to him. Why hasn't it worked out?
I got offered short notice for 1, 2, and it was 20 days notice against a Russian. It didn't materialize. This was earlier in the year. And now I'm first-round management's negotiating with Matt Hume and ONE FC, and all I can do is trust in first round. And Maurice, where you at, Maurice? Show me the money.
You fought for a bunch of other Canadian organizations, Hard Knocks, Fight Night. Right now, you've had success with TKO. You're the champ there. Unless a bigger organization comes calling, like ONE or the UFC. Could you go back to Fight Night or Hard Knocks if they put on another show? Or as far as Canadian MMA goes, is it TKO?
As far as Canadian MMA goes, never say never. Look, I love to fight, man. And there's some fights happening at the Genesis Center in November, I think. November, So you never know. I'm here to fight if the money's right. Fight Night's throwing down January 25th in Lethbridge. Josh Hill, you don't want that fight. You pretend you want that fight. Let's do it, brother.
So what's the deal with that?
Josh and I will fight one day, maybe. But we should have done it in January. But maybe it's not happening for some other reasons right now. Who knows? Josh and I, we will fight.
That's it? I mean, you maybe negotiations or what's the reason? Do you want to say, or is it sort of keep it to yourself for now.
Josh is a good dude. I met him. At the end of the day, we're the two best bantamweights on paper in the country. I think he's getting married, or I know he just had a kid. He's got some other obligations. It is what it is. January was a nice time. It could have worked out, and I don't know if it'll work out later in the year. That's the time to make the fight. But before we're done, we'll probably do battle. Hopefully we're not 40 when it happens.
I saw something, Jake Matthews, the UFC welterweight, he's really going for a fight against Sage Northcutt, and he posted a photo, something like if Sage gets his wish and, the fight doesn't happen, and of course, they look old and it's all edited, and same situation.
That's funny. I actually, now that you mentioned this, I saw the meme. But Josh, what you got, boy?
Maybe you should put one of those out.
Maybe I should. Realistically, though, how's he going to beat me? He can beat me a decision or get a knockout on me. I'll either beat him a decision or I'll sub him.
Have you been impressed with his run? I mean, he's been all over the place, WSOF, he's a good fighter, but have you been impressed yourself?
Yes, for sure. He's good, he's technical. He believes in himself. He's dynamic. I'm just too long. I'll be in too good a shape. My punches will be too straight. It'll probably end up being a stand-up fight, and I'll just have to watch out for his big hooks. He closes his eyes and throws hooks. He doesn't run behind a jab. He's not going to hit me with no flying knee. At the end of the day, I win an easy decision, or I catch him late in a submission, 4th or 5th round. What do you got? If you wanna do it, Josh, then let's do it, and let's get paid for Canada.
Before that happens, you're fighting at TKO 44, defending the TKO bantamweight title for the second time, September 21st. How do you get the job done?
Exactly. You know what? That's why you're good at your job. I can never look past a kid like Nathan Manis. This guy's got nothing to lose. But at the end of the day, I'll be too much. He's good. It'll be a late 2nd round or a 3rd round finish. And it's either going to be a submission or it's going to be a TKO. But I know I'll get the job done inside 15 minutes against Nathan Manis, running the winning streak to 13 straight. 16 wins, 4 losses. Whoa.
Jesse, thanks so much for the time, and best of luck to you in a couple months.
Thank you, sir.